is an indoctrination. Like you just said, they're trying to get you to see a certain narrative and buy into it so you don't ask any critical questions. But sometimes you see shit that makes you go, now hold on a goddamn minute. What you told me and what I'm seeing, them two, I'm not stupid. They don't match. Let me do my own research. Let me tell you an example of that. On August the 21st of 2017, y'all remember, it was the great eclipse. A lot of y'all remember that day. It was the day that they said that the sun was going to travel from the west all the way across the United States and everybody would get to see this shit. A lot of y'all thought it was just a day off from work and you would get to go and see some amazing shit. But those of us who knew anything about past history knew that it is written that I will send you signs and wonders in the sky. So you're supposed to study the sky. If you know anything about the civilization all around the world, they were aligned with the stars. Everything was based on the rotations of the earth. How can you have a Mayan calendar that's 500 million years old unless you've been around 500 million years to go around one time to know what the fuck is out there? So when the eclipse happened, watch this, stay with me, bro. I'm gonna smoke some in a minute too. But let me tell you what happened. I decided with my bright ass, I wanted the maximum experience. I didn't just want to see this shit because I had already done the numerological studies. And I said, wait a minute, this is very rare that it's happening. Something like this has never happened before. Let me search the scriptures and see what it says. Let me search the ancient texts and see what it says. And why is it happening only here in the United States, something of this magnitude? And then I found out something. Well, ground zero was in a place called Carbondale, Illinois. Where the fuck was that at? In the middle of nowhere. So you think. So I drove down there. When I drove down there, my brother, I'm looking at miles and miles of what looked like farmland. Remember, farmland is just nothing with nothing on it. But as I'm driving down there, I passed a sign, and the sign said Cairo. Cairo. Then I drove a little further. Cairo, Illinois. You can stay with me. You know, y'all gonna be up in a minute. I saw another sign and it said Memphis. I said, Memphis? Then I got a little closer and I saw the sign for Carbondale, Illinois had another name under it. It was called Little Egypt. And I kept thinking to myself, what white man in his right mind would name a bunch of shit in the middle of the United States after Cairo, Memphis, and Little Egypt? So I didn't really give a fuck. I went to where the eclipse was. And that's a whole nother story, but it made me start thinking, what if all of this shit I'm seeing here was the real place? And that everything that they talk about, because where we was, remember, Egypt was supposed to be where two great rivers came together. I was in a place where two great rivers came together, the Mississippi River and the Ohio River, which are the two biggest rivers on the North American continent. So I go like, what kind of coincidence shit is this? And then I noticed something else. Everything out there was miles and miles of what was just, you could tell something used to be there. But now they just had these little ass white towns and they were farming over everything. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I began to think what you think. And that's what got me starting to research the ancient civilizations that was here. You get what I'm saying? I've traveled to the Cahokia Mounds. I've gone up to Ohio to look at the Snake Mounds, and I've looked at the blueprints from the air. Like, that's what started to tell me something ain't right with this motherfucking picture. Then I started to realize that a lot of the monuments and a lot of the things that they just had bulldozed over and had torn the fuck up because they didn't want you to know was there. Some stuff they could not get rid of, and that's when you start to suspect, well, if there was this great fucking civilization here, that doesn't match what I was taught about the Native Americans, because that story don't line up. So then you begin to wonder what the fuck was really here. And then I learned something else. On April 21st of 2024, there's going to be another great eclipse that's only going to touch the United States again. And this has never happened before. The first one went this way, and Carbondale was ground zero. The other one is going to go the other way. It's going to make an X across America. And guess where the ground zero is?
X marks the spot.
X marks the fucking spot. There you got to open up your mind and go and look at what's written. It says, because on that day, I shall take you down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and put you on trial for what you have done to my people and how you have divided up my land. That's when I started thinking, well, then wait a minute. If we were supposed to build all that shit over there, but I can't imagine one side of the globe was so developed and the other side was so fucked up. No. The whole globe had to be developed. As a matter of fact, there was a global civilization that we did some shit over there, but the people over here had done some shit too.